Good afternoon. My name is Philip Young. I am the Marketing Director of the Gibraltar Stock Exchange Group. A few words of explanation. The Gibraltar Stock Exchange is an EU-regulated exchange which was awarded its license by the Financial Services Commission, the Gibraltar regulator, in 2015. So we are a securities exchange that is opening up and branching out its group network to include introducing best practices and an institutional grade platform and exchange for the token industry. That project is called the Gibraltar Blockchain Exchange, the GBX, which is a subsidiary of the GSX, but is operating under the best principles, standards and rules and regulations of an exchange, of a regulated exchange, applying those best principles to the token industry. Why have we done that? Well, we believe that in order for the token industry to take that next leap, that next level, and to actually grow up and be institutional, to encourage institutional players into this growing nascent industry community, we need an institutional grade platform. And that is what the GSX and the GBX project is all about. It's our first steps to make the industry face up to the fact that we need to introduce standards, corporate governance, visibility, transparency, and a rules-based system to the token industry in order for us all to be able to take that institutional leap and to grow our market, because without an institutional grade platform, I don't think that is possible. So this work that we're doing at the GBX and the GSX group is in parallel with the work that's been done with Gibraltar as a jurisdiction. Gibraltar government and the Gibraltar regulator back in 2016 asked a number of fundamental questions to our community. Firstly, is this, when looking at the blockchain community and the blockchain industry, something that we should be regulating? And secondly, if so, how? So the government, the regulator in Gibraltar and the private sector collectively got together and thought about creating a regulatory framework for the blockchain industry, and particularly blockchain companies that are involved in the distribution and transmission and storage of value across the blockchain space. And that work culminated in the release of the DLT framework on January the 1st, 2018, which provided one of the first licensing regimes in the world to provide regulatory certainty and clarity for companies operating in the blockchain space to come to Gibraltar and be licensed and regulated. So we ourselves at the Gibraltar Stock Exchange are an EU-regulated company, but equally the GBX, our token sale platform and cryptocurrency exchange, has applied for the DLT license, and hopefully, if and when we are awarded that license, we will be the first, one of the first certainly, exchanges in the world to be licensed and regulated to offering a token sale platform, cryptocurrency exchange for utility tokens in an institutional grade setting to encourage institutional players to come to the token market. What makes the GBX unique? Well, we can answer that question in a number of ways, but let's just first talk about the standards that we've introduced. And the standards are in our token sale rules that clearly articulate what a token sale issuer has to do to be eligible to come to our market. And that's in terms of the quality and the transparency of the teams, what they have to be producing in their white papers, and also on ongoing obligations that they have to report to the community once they are listed. Now, in terms of the best practices that we've employed in terms of the listing process, we have introduced a network of sponsor firms that are our trusted advisors that, in essence, responsible for taking issuers to market. So issuers don't speak to the stock exchange and the GBX directly. They go through a trusted network of sponsor firms that are entrusted with being our first line of defense to ensure that token issuers are meeting the requirements of our stock exchange rules. So that network of sponsor firms is now being built up across the world, from North America to UK to continental Europe and over in Europe, in Singapore and in Hong Kong and the rest of Asia. Those sponsor firms can be found on our website in terms of gbx.gi, and our sponsor firm network is there and visible for you to see and growing by the week. So what are we looking to do? We're looking to create an institutional grade platform to encourage institutional players into this space. We need the token market to grow up. We need the market to grow from where it is now, 500 billion, to somewhere approaching 5 trillion or 50 trillion, but it to be a meaningful asset class. The only way we can do that is to encourage hedge funds, venture capital firms in New York, investment banks in London, family offices in Europe and Asia, those sort of people to be able to come on a trusted platform that is in time regulated. And that's what we aim to be at the GPX, is that regulated platform to bring vetted and approved high quality tokens with institutional players as well as retail players. So that's how I see the market evolving, and that's how it has to get bigger, because for us it's creating that culture of standards. Standards matter, and it's the rules-based system that we're applying to the GBX is not only about telling people what they should be doing in terms of their reporting and transparency requirements, but also creating that culture of excellence. That's what we're about. Now, the way I see the market evolving over time is from the current concentration on utility tokens as a means of raising money for funding of projects, to the whole tokenization of the global economy. And I think security tokens is very much the future, and something that we at the Gibraltar Stock Exchange Group are very mindful of, such that we're creating within our ecosystem a capital market pathway that via the GBX caters for utility tokens, but also with the Gibraltar Stock Exchange via our license extension with our regulator that will be happening in 2018, we hope, to provide that mechanism to create that total pathway and a total solution from utility tokens through to security tokens, all within one jurisdiction, all within one stock exchange group, and that is the Gibraltar Stock Exchange.